Raptors fought hard but come up short against the Philadelphia 76ers. 114-109 is the final. I'm Randy Urban, and this is Raptors Night Cap. Tonight, we're joined by Sherman Hamilton, Paul Jones, and Amy Audibert. Sherman, Raps go on a huge run in that fourth, fall just short. What do you think was the turning point for you?
Well, I just think that overall, I thought they competed very hard in that fourth quarter. They found the ball found a hot hand, and that's very important when guys have it going to keep on getting them the basketball. Joel Embiid wasn't on the floor for part of that fourth quarter. That helped as well. And I think collectively they started to play a bit more of the brand of defense that we're used to seeing them play. You know, this is a team that creates turnovers. They get out and push the ball. I thought we saw a bit more of that in the fourth quarter. And, you know, the compete level was very, very high, and I enjoyed watching that. And, you know, it's a situation where you get a couple guys back, you start to feel better about yourself and just understand you're there in the late part of the game and you give yourself a chance to win. And obviously Pascal was excellent, Chris Boucher was excellent, but I just thought everybody competed really hard in that fourth quarter, and their defense did a lot of good things.
Yeah, Jonesy just fell short there. I kind of felt like they were going to pull it out, which would have been, to me, a big win for the Raptors. But
yeah,
you know, Philadelphia just a little bit strong.
I agree. I think it would have been a big win. And to Sherm's point, I thought this team got a couple guys back and played more to their personality. You know, Sherm talked about the brand of defense, creating turnovers, getting out on the break, you know, doing the things that made them successful. I thought their personality showed through a little bit more. And, you know, look, DJ Wilson in particular, I think he's a guy that has adapted well. I mean, let's not sugarcoat this. The guy's an NBA player. He was with the Bucks. You know, he was a guy that they drafted, and they moved people to try to get him a look, and it didn't work out. And a lot of times when a guy's on the end of a bench and he gets cut, it's a numbers thing. They bring somebody else in because they want to have a look at him, and he's just the number that's expendable. But I thought he did a lot of really, really nice things. Look, the cohesiveness defensively is tough. We always talk about the offense, but a couple times they go and double Joel Embiid below the free throw line, below the dotted line, and he finds people. And he's just so big and strong down there. But I thought it was a much better effort tonight, and no moral victories. But man, they were right in this thing.
Amy, let's get a little bit deeper into that defense. What did you think of the defense on Embiid tonight?
I thought they sure as heck gave it their all. I mean, this is a guy that you don't stop, and it's hard to slow him down, right? But I think they mixed it up. You saw doubles. I mean, but that three he hit at the end, like Boucher was there. He had a hand in his face. It was guarded as well as it could be. The difference I thought for Philadelphia was Tobias Harris. I mean, I think Joel's going to most of the nights go out and get his. It's what the other guys can do around him. And that was, I think, maybe where, I mean, Georges Niang came in, and that's where I thought the game changed. There was that little window where he had like 8 straight points to start the fourth quarter. And there's your separation. Like there was the little gap right there. And so, again, I think for a group that at times you got half the guys out there that just joined this team to put together that effort, and also just like that production. They were in this game. It wasn't just like a moral, oh, we played hard. I mean, they put themselves in a position to win this game. That was pretty awesome.
But sure, with Embiid playing like that, it really gives the other guys an opportunity to sort of do what they can do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the fact that those guys were making 3-point shots, that's kind of how Philadelphia is built. And that's why they can have success at times. Joel Embiid, he can operate on any level on the floor. But when you can space it out and put guys around him that can make shots and put a lot of pressure on defenses to stay home and not crowd him, that's when they become effective. So the first half, Joel Embiid has 12 points, but other guys are making shots, so the team is fine. Second half, Joel Embiid has put his foot down and started to score. You know, guys made shots, but Joel Embiid was the fulcrum that everybody operated around. So that's the balance that Philly wants. And when those other guys are playing well, Joel Embiid's job becomes that much more easier.
Jonesy, let's talk about Siakam. First game back from COVID protocols. I thought he was impressive. And it feels like we're really seeing the results of all the work he put in during that offseason, despite being injured for it.
Yeah, and look, normally a guy comes back from protocols or look, these are finely tuned athletes. And when you're not playing every day, you don't get a chance to go to the gym and you're stuck at home and you don't get a chance to hone your skills. You can come up short. I think we saw that with Gary Trent Jr. at times tonight. Shots that normally he makes easily, they weren't quite going down. I thought Pascal was the opposite though. He came back, he looked very sharp, jumped out of the gate, had a great start, and that set the tone because now Philadelphia has to pay attention to him. It opens it up to move the ball, to kick it to other guys. It gives the team a shot of confidence. So I thought he did a great job. And not just on the offensive end too. He did a good job defensively in passing lanes and rebounding, and he had a really, really solid floor.
I thought he didn't push anything to that point too, right? The way he opened the game, he wasn't like pushing and he wasn't not keeping his eyes open for everyone else, but he was just taking what the defense was giving him. And he almost made it look easy in some ways, right? Like, I don't like saying that because I never think anything's too easy out there on the court, but he just looked so cool and calm and collected to start the game, which is not that I just wasn't expecting that, just understanding what these guys are kind of dealing with. Not just the physical, what a quarantine means, but just also the mental part of it. I was just so impressed with Pascal coming, just the way he started that game, but also through the entire game. I also thought the staff was great in terms of minutes, getting guys in and out, finding breaks. It was just, again, put themselves in a position to win this game against a good Philadelphia team who had a majority of their guys here.
Well, Amy, like if you as a high level athlete miss 2 games or 2 days and you don't have that conditioning, you notice it. Like if you don't play Friday, Saturday, you notice it on Monday.
I think Sherman was a more high level athlete than me, so you should have went to him on that. That was just brutal. I would say this, Randy, and this is where I think we can't expect anything either way for these guys, because when you look at what DeMar DeRozan did coming out of his health and safety, he dropped 38. Like certain guys are, I think, able to, whether they have the means to work out or where they're located, and certain guys aren't going to look as fresh, and it's no one's fault. I just don't think when guys come out, you can expect them to be great, or you can expect them not to be great, because you just don't know. We don't know.
Well, Sherman, let's go to you about Boucher then. Great again. What did you like about his performance?
One word, everything. I thought he was excellent tonight. Again, this is a guy who's had an up and down season. I mean, he's had to figure out ways when he wasn't playing, with the little time he got, how to be effective. Early in the season, got caught, I think, trying to do too much too quickly, but he's really settled into a nice groove. He's done a very good job being responsible. And tonight he was phenomenal. He shot the ball well, but I thought his energy and effort on the defensive end against Joel Embiid, I mean, he's giving up probably 80 pounds to Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
He's down there battling him. And I thought he shot the ball well. He rebounded well. I mean, he almost had a 20-20 game. But his energy and effort and his consistency of being in the fight, and he was extremely responsible with his offensive opportunities. An efficient night, 10 of 14, efficient from the three-point line. I just loved everything about his game tonight.
Jonesy, Malachi got some extended minutes, obviously, with all the guys out of the lineup. But to me, he looked indecisive at times. How do you break out of that state of mind as a player?
Well, I think for him, he does a lot of good things. I think the next step for him is seeing the ball go in the basket, really.
Yeah.
I didn't think his decision-making was that bad. I thought he did a good job of managing the offense, running it well enough, doing some nice things, played hard defensively. But the next shot of confidence to me is seeing the ball go in. And to Sherm's point about Chris Boucher, there have been 3 20-20 games in Raptor history. Popeye Jones had 1, Chris Bosh had 2. And Chris was that close to having, his name in the history books. But, back to Malachi, I think, again, here's a young man that's done a good job of being a young professional. And I like it when he hits the floor. I think he does some good things. And it's a matter, I think, of at times just seeing the ball go into hoop for him.
Amy, Jonesy earlier mentioned DJ Wilson. Let's talk about him, because to be honest with you, when I saw him in the showcase this year, I was like, he's in the G League. This was a guy that put up good minutes against the Raptors when he was a Milwaukee Buck. Has he done enough to get a contract in the NBA here?
I'd like to see him continue to be consistent in his opportunities here with the Raptors. I think, is he good enough? Yes, but as Jonesy also mentioned, this comes down to situations, right? Numbers, who's available, caps, all that stuff. But what I thought was really telling, like we can sit here and talk about how much we like DJ Wilson, but Pascal a couple times made the extra pass to him, or like gave up a shot that was for Pascal. You're like, okay, he can shoot that too. And I mean, this is a guy that he just met maybe today or yesterday. I thought that was really telling in the trust in DJ Wilson to not only obviously as the staff and organization coach to go out there and, this is a big stage here. This game was big, but also the players just, again, your Pascal, your guy, to distribute the ball to him in big moments. And it was all in the second half, because when we talk about just like the craziness of DJ's last couple weeks, he was with the OKC Blue, he goes to Vegas, he gets flown to Chicago, that game gets postponed, he goes to LA to have Christmas with his family, then flies to Cleveland, and then after Cleveland gets to Toronto. This was like 2 days ago. It's absolutely incredible. And again, when we talk about being a professional athlete, and to your question, that was a long answer, Randy, but yeah, I mean, the guy's a pro. A pro's pro.
Sure. Real quick here, last 30 seconds of the show. Do you think Watanabe should have been given that technical foul? Or should the refs have a little bit more awareness that he was clearly mad at himself?
By the letter of the law, I get it. But if you're going to make a discretionary call right there, that would be the opportunity. I mean, he clearly wasn't trying to show up the official. He clearly was upset with himself. The reaction was solely about what he didn't do defensively. But I understand the whistle. When you make a gesture like that, you slam the ball up, especially when it goes that high, you're going to get a technical for that. And it's unfortunate it happened, but I bet you if they sat down and had a coffee with Utah, they would not give him a technical if he did that again, because they'd understand he's one of the best young people that you know in the NBA.
Absolutely. All right, guys. I really, really appreciate you doing this. You're all wearing your masks, and I appreciate that. You're staying safe. I'm at home, so that's why I don't have mine on.
I thought you were. I thought you were on the Toronto Harbor.
Yeah, I'm about to take a dip. Next game for the Raptors, New Year's Eve at home against the LA Clippers. Tip-off 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll see all three of you on that show, and we'll see everybody else there as well.